Good morning. Happy Saturday. Welcome to week 6 of 2022. I don't know how much reading I'm going to get today done. I got a new kitchen scale this week when I did my grocery shopping. So today I plan on doing my test wax tarts. So I have a bunch of new molds and new scents that I want to try. I'm going to film some B-roll and show it to you. I have a lot to make though, so I don't know how much B-roll I'm going to put in there. But if you want to learn more about what I do and what I use, just let me know and I can do a video on what I use. I'm by no means an expert, but I do enjoy making them. I make highly scented wax tarts because I like the scent to be strong, but I also want it to last a long time. All of the scents that I'm testing are from Nature's Garden. They're who I buy my wax from. It's my favorite wax. I've tried a couple different waxes now, but they're my favorite for wax tarts. I mainly just make wax tarts. I'm not a big candle user. I do have candles. I pretty much just use them in the bathroom when I take a shower, but otherwise I'm mostly a wax tart user because they're flameless and I feel like they're easier to clean up a lot of the times. A trick, if you don't know, is put mine's removable, my top part here. And so this is like mine. I just have a simple gray one that I got, I think from like Walmart or Target or something. But if your top part is removable, pop it in the freezer. And I usually put it in there in the morning when I leave. And then by the time I come home from work, you flip it over and it just pops right out. And I actually have some right here in my little trash that I can show you. And they just pop right out whole. There's nothing left. Put that back in the trash. So yeah, but if you have one that doesn't pop out, I know some people warm them up and then while it's still warm and liquid, then they unplug it and wipe it out with a paper towel. I would also recommend using, like after you wipe all the wax out, the way that I clean my wax tart supplies is when the wax is still wet in my melting jar and my silicone stuff, I wipe it off and then I take a paper towel with a little bit of alcohol on it and then I wipe that there, and that kind of helps kill the scent and get any other remaining bits and pieces. So I don't know why I'm giving you a tutorial on wax tart stuff, but if you didn't know that and needed any little extra bonus hints, that's what I do. I need to start Annie's Song this weekend. That is the Rake Appreciation book for this month, and this Thursday the 10th is the meeting, so I need to do that. I need to edit last week's vlog this weekend and get that ready to go. I need to sync my Kindle and get some of my new fantasy books on it. I have to clear off more space because I'm getting more books than I have space for, but that's okay. I want to get those fantasy ones on there. I have a lot of TV stuff I want to watch the Olympics, and then I have the NHL All-Stars game. I recorded it today. I watched the skills competition last night and that was super fun, but I'm going to have the game on while I work on editing. So yeah, I'll come back once I start Annie's Songs. That's definitely the next book I'll be picking up. And then, once I get a little bit into it, depending on how far I get tonight. Wax tart making, because I have so many that I want to make and I have a lot of different molds I want to use. It's going to take a little longer this morning, but let's go ahead and get the calendar done for the weekends, and then we can just focus on reading and other fun things. So yesterday we approached the guards. We just paid the fine, it says pay the fine, but it's more like the entry fee. We weren't like fined. So let's see what happens this weekend. Ooh, Great Cliff. So we are officially in the city. The city is bustling with people. You have a chance to explore and visit the townspeople on your way to the market to find a room to rest, and then attend the festival. Visit each place in the city. You will get a room to rest tomorrow before going to market and then finally heading to the festival. And rest is in capitals, so we might actually do the rest actions for the first time. So we can kind of heal up because we need it. I know, you're being naughty over there. So we are going to flip around. So it doesn't really show them in the picture, but there's 5, looks like there's 5 places that we can visit here. So the city square. The city square is full of colorful banners welcoming everyone to the city. There are several posters advertising stalls and games in the festival, metal workers and armories for the tournament, and inns to stay at while visiting the city. It appears the going rate for a common room will be about 2 gold. You might want to save some coin for a room. We have more than enough coin. We are good. We are at 16. Okay, festival entrance. You find the entrance to the festival. It should be open in a couple of days. The advertised price of a ticket to enter is 3 gold. You might want to save enough coin for entry and play a few games. Okay, so we're getting warned of what gold we'll probably have to spend. So right now it's up to 5 gold, which we have 11 gold that we can kind of buy stuff with. So apothecary. The strangest smells are coming from this small shop where a lot of bizarre and vibrant flowers are on display. This might be a good place to get a few potions and antidotes. So there's an antidote that removes poison, and that is 4 grams. However, I'm not going to worry about that because we are a monk and we have the chi skill harmony, and that's use 1 of our chi points, which we have 3, and then they like reset when we rest. And that is remove the poisoned and cursed conditions. So I'm going to not worry about the antidote right now. And then a health potion. Restores 2d4 health. Can't be used in combat. We have 1 health potion. I'm debating if we want to get another one. Let's see what else is going on, what the other 2 places have. And then I might go back to the apothecary. Alleyway. You take a casual stroll through the alley to see a part of the city that most visitors avoid. You spot a sickly beggar asking for coin. Do you toss him one? He looks sickly. I'm going to say yeah. Let's toss him a coin. We have more than enough. So that leaves us with 10, because we have 2 gold for a room, 3 gold for the entrance, and then 1 gold that we're going to give to a beggar. So that's 6 gold basically out of our wallet, I guess. And so that leaves us 10 to go shopping. So let's see what the last one is. So job board. There are quite a few odd jobs posted to a board where you can help out the locals in the city guard. It might be a good way to make some coin for the festival. You decide to come back here once you are well rested. Okay, so we can potentially go back to the job board at a later time and get some more money. So I think I for sure want to get another health potion. So we have 2, because I feel like that might be a good thing to have 2. And I'm debating, because we have 10 gold that we can kind of freely spend right now with the option to get more soon. And that would take us down to 6 gold that we can use. We can get an antidote, and then that way we can save a use of a chi point. Or if we come across somebody else is poisoned, we can offer it to them maybe. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to get 1 antidote and 1 health potion. And then we'll have 2 extra gold coins. So right now we're down to 7 full because we haven't paid for the room or the festival entrance yet. So I'm going to do that. I think that's it. So I'm going to mark that I have 7 coins right now, but 3 and 2 are for our room and our festival entrance. And then I will up my inventory for an antidote and 1 more health potion. And that's it. Easy peasy. Since it's the weekend and the start of a new week, if you haven't seen before, we are doing the Quest Calendars 2022 Gates of Terralon. This is a mostly daily calendar. Saturdays and Sundays are combined, and it's based off of like an RPG kind of system like Dungeons and Dragons. And so we are on February 5th. And we're approaching Great Cliff, or we are in Great Cliff now, the city. I'm excited to see what the festival is like and get going on that. So yeah, I am going to put all this away, get my notes made on my character sheet, and then I'm going to go start working on wax tarts. And I will be back when I have something to update with. Until then, I'll see you soon. Hello, happy Monday. It's about 10:30 at night. I'm finishing the men's short program for figure skating. And I just finished not too long ago my editing last week's vlog. So hopefully tomorrow night I can get that all uploaded and set to go while it exports tonight. I've got Kitty in my lap. So I was going to clear off some of my videos here. I filmed yesterday, Sunday, I filmed demolding my wax tarts. And then this morning I filmed my calendar and my Annie's song update, and they're gone. The video's gone. I showed my boss my wax mold one here at work today, just so she could kind of see what they look like. And now they're gone. They didn't get corrupted, they're just gone. And I tried doing like the hidden trash folders and stuff. Nowhere. I have no idea where those videos went. So I'm gonna try to refilm a little bit here. I don't know if you can hear this. Let me move my mic. She's just purring up a storm. She's been wanting a lap all night, but I've been editing, so I've been sitting forward, and she hasn't enjoyed that. But I sat back now that I've got that done, and then I was just gonna relax. They're in the final group of figure skaters. But so the quest calendar is super easy. We're at the inn. We rented a room, which we already kind of knew about when we explored Grey Cliff, so I already paid the gold for that. And then we were able to rest. And resting is very simple. We restore our health full, which we really needed. And then the rest of these didn't matter, but just so you know, if you use any of your abilities that have like a number of uses, that gets regained. All spell points and chi points get regained. Remove the poison condition, and then if you have received a negative modifier caused from death, then that also gets removed. But the only thing that mattered for us was hit points, so we're back up to full. So I'm guessing tomorrow we will enter the festival, and since we'll have a full night of rest, I'll go ahead and read you the little blurb it has. It is a good idea to grab a decent room at an inn before they all get taken. You walk into the shiny servant and are greeted with warm smiles and a comfortable place to rest. Can I help you? That footy. This footy here is grabbing onto my microphone. She always has to reach out and grab things or reach out and touch me. You'd think she never gets attention the way she acts sometimes. So that was the calendar. Super quick and easy. So Sunday, I didn't do much. I'll go ahead, since I lost my demolding video, that's fine. Once I have them all, like all my wax tarts packed away and stuff for the next 2 weeks. So since I don't have my demolding thing, I'll just go through them when I can pull them out, and then we can see how the cold throws are. So that'll be fun. So yeah. Annie's song, I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. I'm trying to remember what I talked about this morning. This is by Catherine Anderson. It's the Rake Appreciation book for this month. Thursday is the live show, and it's hosted by Jen and Crystal, like always. I really enjoyed this. So the basic premise is Annie is treated. This was published in the late 90s. I want to say 1996. So there's definitely some not PC terminology used for nowadays, but she is called the town moron, the town idiot, the R word. Everybody thinks that she's daft after she got fever when she was 6 years old, and her parents, absolutely horrendous people. I mean, her mother not as much, but they definitely treated her differently than how they should have. And the doctor kind of tries to stand up for him a little bit, because how are they supposed to know? But what we end up finding out is that she isn't actually addled mentally, but she is deaf and mute. So in the prologue, she gets raped by a man named Douglas, and then a couple chapters in, she's pregnant. Well, before it is found out that she's pregnant, Douglas's older brother Alex throws Douglas out of the house and runs him off, basically, and he offers whatever he can help-wise for Annie and her family. So when she ends up pregnant, he proposes a plan that they get married, and she move in with him, and then once she has the baby, she can go back with her parents, because at this point they all think she's still adult. He quickly figures out that she is actually deaf and very incredibly smart. She just, because her parents thought that she was stupid, never got any schooling whatsoever. So that was kind of hard to read, because she was so naive and childlike, but she was able to put some things together, and she was still like learning things, but she didn't like learn arithmetic or her letters, and because she was 6 years old, so you think kindergarten-ish. So she didn't learn anything from like first grade forward, because her parents thought she was stupid and she couldn't learn, and she was just deaf. So it's their romance. It was really sweet, and I really, really enjoyed it. It is an out of 5 stars, though, because it just didn't hit me emotionally, and I don't know if that's just the prologue didn't get me in the right mindset, or I don't know. It just, there was at one point I saw some people were posting in the Discord, and I saw someone post like, I'm 6 chapters in and I've cried like 3 or 4 times already. And then I looked at where I was and I was like, I'm 12 chapters in and haven't even teared up, which is weird because I am very easily affected emotionally, and I'll cry. Happy tears, sad tears, just, I will cry so freaking easily at a book, and I didn't tear up at all. So for some reason that just didn't hit me emotionally. So I can't give it 5 stars. But I'm going to give it 4.5 because it's definitely a really good book, and for being published in 1996, like, outside of just things that they called Annie, it was pretty good. And like, there's rape, but it's like intentional. Like, it's not just there and that's how things were. Like, it had a purpose in the story, kind of a thing, and not just what happened and how women were treated, kind of a thing. But I'm excited to see what people thought. I feel like a lot of people are really liking it. It's weird. It just didn't hit me emotionally. I did also have a little bit of a few issues, mostly with the ending, because he sends her Alex. I don't remember his name. What's his name? I don't know. Her husband wants her to have proper schooling and wants her to experience things, and he learns about a school for the deaf where they'll do like plays and dances and all these fun things, and she'd be able to have a social life. So he basically signs her up to go to this school, and it's going to kill him because she's going to be at the school 2 to 3 years, and he doesn't want her and the baby to leave him for that long, but he wants what's best for her, kind of a thing. But they wait until after she has the baby because they don't want to cause extra stress on her with the baby. And so it's, I don't know. He does so well for most of the book, listening to her and really understanding what it is that she wants. And even though it's hard for her to know that she does or doesn't want this, she really doesn't want to go to this school. And she finally capitulates for him to try it, partly because she thinks he's embarrassed of her that she has no schooling. And then she starts learning to write at this school, and it's really sweet because he learns sign language, and they teach sign language to most of the people that run the household, kind of a thing, so she can talk to people. and like request drinks of water, and like they had like a list of like 10 words or whatever that they learned right away, and one of them was Alex. It is Alex. It was his name, so that because she learns how to read lips, and so he learns how to read her lips, kind of a thing. So if she's with someone and she needs more than just the basics from this person, she can sign for Alex, and then they can get Alex and then figure out what it is that she wants. So that was just so sweet. And then he sends her to the school, and then she learns how to write, and she sends him a couple letters, and every single letter she's like, I miss you so much, I want to come home. I miss you so much, I want to come home. I miss you so much, I want to come home. And one of the times he just responds acting like she didn't say that, so she sends a picture of him without ears, which is something that she drawn of herself earlier. And so he kind of gets the point that he's not listening. So he shows up to take her home, and it's really sweet. But the epilogue was super cute. It's like a couple of years in the future. But I don't know. It just, like, it kept me enthralled, and I couldn't put it down. I pretty much read it all day on Sunday. And the only time I put it down was to, like, get up and make some lunch or switch my laundry. So it was pretty much read in one setting, but I don't know. It just didn't affect me like I expected. Or like it seems like it's affecting a lot of people, which is, like I said, is fine, but it's just surprising because I'm so easily affected. So yeah. And then I also haven't mentioned, but I started a web novel, a Korean web novel. It's called Under the Oak Tree. It's a historical fantasy romance. And I started it Friday night. And I've seen ads for the webcomic version. And then I was looking into it, and it's on the webcomic app Manta, which I don't enjoy as much because they're more of the first 3 or 4 chapters are unlocked, and then you have to pay to unlock all the other chapters. And I think there's a way to unlock them for free, or you have to wait until there's like a free weekend or something for them, and then you can read a bunch of them. But I don't like that. I prefer line webtoons. I've been reading line webtoons for years now, and it's just, I like the way that they do it, where there's weekly episodes, and then if there's they do have some that are locked, but it's every day a new chapter unlocks, every day that you log in, kind of a thing. So if you don't log in for 3 days, it's still just the next day you log in and unlocks a chapter, kind of a thing. And then you can fast pass to unlock early chapters, but they still are like 1 a week for the normal ones that are uploading. But then I was doing some research into it, and I found out that it's actually, the webcomic is based off of a web novel. So I did some research into it. There's a lot of like scanned translations and things like that. So I need to pause it because Nathan Chen's about to go here. So I looked into it, and the app web novel actually has the official English translation. So I started reading it on there so I can properly support the author. And this, like I said, it's a historical fantasy romance. So what we have is our heroine is Maximilian. She goes by Maxie, and she is the first daughter of a duke. And she has a stutter, and the duke was angry with her mother. She went through many, many miscarriages, and then Maxie was the only child that survived, and then she passes a couple years later. He remarries, has a second daughter. Her name is like Rosetta, I think. It starts with Rose, and she's like the perfect duke's daughter, kind of a thing, and Maxie is not. And because she has a stutter and her father had hatred towards her mother, she was treated worse than servants in this house. Well, what happens is the duke arranges a marriage between her and Riften, who's a commoner turned knight. And he wanted the connections of getting this popular knight, but he didn't want to sacrifice his good daughter to this commoner, even though he's now a knight and owns his own estate, kind of a thing. So he does it with Maxie. So they're both kind of forced into this marriage. Maxie's heavily abused, terrified of her father. We see her father beat her in the beginning. And all for stuttering. Broke my heart. So Riften comes back from a 3-year campaign against a dragon, and they've slain this dragon. And her father is basically disparaging her because he was on this campaign with the princess of the realm, and she's a very powerful mage. And rumors have started because the king wants or offered Riften the princess's hand in marriage. We don't find out about this until a couple chapters in, but Riften declines because he's like, I already have a wife. I'm not leaving my wife. That's not the kind of person I am. But so he shows up 3 years later. So when they got married, they consummated, then he left on this dragon campaign. And so he's back, and he's there to pick her up. And he is angry because he sent his people to get her, to take her to the estate so she could be at his castle and taking care of things while he was away and just being the lady of the estate. And she wasn't told about this at all. She's been kept under her father's thumb. And so there's a lot of misunderstandings going. But I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. And I feel like we're going to get a lot of really good character development between the two of them. But so, yeah, so he's a little brash. He's a little quick to anger. But he wants his wife. And he hasn't quite figured out that she's been abused. So sometimes he'll say or do things, I know. She's all stretched out. Look at that. That foot is all the way at the bottom. But I don't know. And he keeps saying things like, oh, this isn't as nice as your father's house, or this dress is like shabby, kind of a thing. And there's a cat butt, in case you were wondering. Yeah. Can you lay down? What do we... Nope, that's in my face. Really? Are you gonna sit on my chin? Yeah. I swear. Some days. Don't mind my messy room behind me. I haven't been doing stuff. My recycling's full. I need to take it out. But anyway. Okay, she's running away. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. I think the first 3 or 4 chapters are free, and they're always unlocked in Web Novel. And then you can watch 2 videos to get what they call a fast pass, which is basically to unlock a chapter a day. And then if you check in and if you vote for a story, and then there's a different voting thing where you can vote for stories to get like published or something. So if you do those 3 things and watch 2 videos, you can get 5 fast passes. You can get basically 5 chapters a day. And then I know that they do have events where a story will be free for like a limited time and everything will be unlocked. So, but I'm happy with the 5 chapters a day. I'm really enjoying it. I can't wait for him to kind of figure out more what's going on with Maxie. And once he kind of understands, and right now she's really nervous. She's really afraid that he's going to push her away and divorce her, because then she'll be forced to go back to her father. And that's not going to be a good situation for anybody. But yeah, I'm excited for him to kind of realize, but he likes her. He likes her so much. But he's just kind of in his own world a little bit. But I'm really enjoying it. So if you want to try something new, Under the Oak Tree is really good. I'm enjoying it. It'll be angsty. It'll be a slow burn. Although they are getting a little frisky. Riften's getting a little frisky. It's been 3 years since he's been with his wife. So he definitely, and it doesn't take long before the divorce stuff is brought up. That was brought up in the first couple chapters, thankfully. And so he makes a point to be like, no, we're not getting divorced. I turned the princess down. But there's still more. And right now she's worried that because now he wants her to kind of refurbish the castle and just kind of take over as lady of the estate. And because she was just so ostracized by her family, she never was taught how to be a noble lady and how to take care of an estate. So she's so worried that he's going to figure it out and then not want her anymore. Poor Maxie is just constantly terrified that she's not getting as terrified that he's going to hit her like her father would, but she is worried that he's going to find her lacking and not want her anymore. And that's hard to read, but like I said, I'm really enjoying it. It'll take a while. There's over 130 chapters I think I saw, so if I stay diligent, I might be able to get caught up by the end of the month, but I think I'm going to count like 50, I don't know. I think I'm going to try to count it for FaRoFeb, but I'm not sure how and how many chapters I want to count for it. But I think if I stick with it every day for like 20 days, that'll be like 100-ish chapters. So if I hit 100 chapters, I'll count it as like a book or a novella or something like that. So, but yeah, that's all I have to update. I need to finish the Olympics, and then I want to read my 5 chapters of Under the Oak Tree tonight. I did log in this morning and at least get my fast passes, but I need to watch my videos still. So I will do those. And hopefully it doesn't reset, because I know it resets at a weird time. But so yeah, I was going to pick up a different fantasy romance tonight, and I have one that I want to pick up, but I don't know if I will have time or if I'll feel too tired. But I will update tomorrow morning and let you know what happens. And hopefully this clip does not magically disappear too. We will see what happens. Until then, I hope you had a good Monday. Mine was okay. It wasn't a bad Monday. But, it was still a Monday. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, February 8th. It's about 8:15 in the evening. And I haven't really read anything the past couple days. I read my chapters of Under the Oak Tree, and that's pretty much it. I definitely want to pick up a fantasy romance, though, so I might try to pick up something tonight. I have a couple more chapters of Under the Oak Tree to get through, and then I'm hoping to read for a little bit. I'm not 100% sure what I want to pick up next, but I have a couple of ideas. I've got Kitty in the lap. I feel like 99% of the time I have a kitty in the lap, or she's trying to get in my lap. But yeah, nothing much, just working. And yesterday I edited last week's vlog because I didn't do it over the weekend, and watched the Olympics. And then tonight I got caught up on Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother, and I'm really sad. Mariah just got voted off. And as a figure skater fan, she was who I was rooting for. And that was really disappointing. So I don't know who I'm going to root for now. We'll see. I'm a fan of Todrick because I'm a fan of Taylor Swift. And I know that he's friends with Taylor Swift. And I've enjoyed some of the stuff I've seen from him. But I don't know if I 100% like the game he's playing and who he's aligned himself with. So we'll see what I think. But let's do the calendar. So yesterday we took a rest. We stayed at the local inn. We stayed at the Shiny Servant. So I'm guessing today we're going to enter the festival. But let's see. Only one page. Oop. Oh, that's right. A job board. I forgot that was mentioned in the... Oh, we're attached. Okay, so fun. It looks like we found the job board. I forgot that was mentioned a couple of days ago, a couple of pages ago. An adventurer could always use extra coin to spend. A local job board is a great way to earn some while helping out the locals. So there's guards needed at the city entrance. That's a d20 plus constitution. Help set up the festival. Roll d20 plus strength, reminder athlete. And help selling festival tickets. Roll d20 plus charisma, reminder persuasive. So let me see if it says anything else, if we can try all three or just one. I mean, it doesn't say you can't try them all. It doesn't say you pick one like it does. So maybe we can try all three and earn extra gold. We don't necessarily need it, but okay, sorry. I have to rearrange. Okay. My character sheet is over here. Okay. So I definitely want to try, we have athlete. So I want to definitely help set up the festival. We don't have, our constitution is just a +0, but I feel like we can try being a guard as well. But I for sure want to help set up the festival. I think that's a good one. So let's start there. So that is a d20 plus strength. So let us see what this says. Officials organizing the festival need help setting up the last tents and stands. This involves carrying a lot of heavy loads in the hot sun. So athlete gives us a +2. And then our strength is a +1. So we get a +3 to whatever we roll. And it's a 13, so 16. Okay, if the result is 11 or more, perfect. Effort provides to be more exhausting than you imagined. However, it is also a great workout. By the end of the day, you feel you have earned your pay in earnest. You managed to make 5 gold. So this one says it takes all day. And the other ones also say they take all day. I'm just going to do the one. I feel like that's too easy to do all three. It doesn't say to choose one, but that would put us back up gold-wise. What I might do is check the FAQ later and see what it says for this day. I might do that, is check the FAQ online. And then if they do allow you to do all three, then just make the rolls off camera and then just let you know what happens. But we're just going to do the one that I wanted to do. So we are going to add 5 gold. That's not too bad. That's a good chunk of gold. Alrighty. So there's that. And we are done with our camera. Or calendar. We are done with the camera. Bye-bye now. So, nice and easy. I'll try to remember to check the FAQs later. So yeah, I'm going to get on my PJs and get in bed and probably just read the rest of the night. I caught up. I had 2 or 3 episodes of Big Brother Celebrity that I watched while I got my exporting all set up. My computer apparently updated in the middle of the night, so it paused my exporting. So last week's video is going to go up a day late because it's not going to get done in time for me to also have time to get it uploaded and up in time for 9 a.m. Wednesday morning. So I'm going to shift it to Thursday this week, but that's fine. We make do. But yeah, I'm going to get in PJs, get all nice and cozy, and I'm going to read my last couple chapters of Under the Oak Tree for today, and then figure out what I want to pick up next for FaRoFeb. And I will be back once I've made progress into whatever it is that I pick up. I'll see you soon. Happy hump day. It is Wednesday, February 9th. And I have some updates. So, I have already read my 5 chapters for Under the Oak Tree. I'm on chapter 36, 37. I'm about there. Holy cow. Holy cow. So, a lot has kind of happened. Since I kind of went over like the intro and what the basics of the story are. But so, when Riften brought Maxie back to his castle in Anatole, it was like the start of like a monsoon rainy season kind of a thing. So as soon as that was over, he had to go to the capital because the king was putting out a celebration for the slaying of the dragon. That was the campaign that he did right after he got married to Maxie. So Maxie has been alone, and she's been trying to figure out how to renovate the castle and just decorate it and make it more homey. But because she was so neglected as a child, she didn't even know the basics of how the currency works. Because there's like 2 different gold coins and 2 different silver coins, and 2 of them are like the classic coins that were from, I think it's the Roman Empire, which is like their historical empire, and then 2 are from like a southern country or something that does a lot of trade, so their numbers are easier for smaller batches because it's made for like smaller businesses and everyday trade kind of a thing, and not just mass quantities. So she was really struggling, and it ends up that Ruth, who's the sorcerer in Anatole, he kind of just sleeps and hangs out in the library all the time. He ends up helping teach her. And then we had a little, I think it was 3 weeks that Riften's gone, while Ruth is just kind of helping teach her, and they're figuring out, they don't want to spend too much money, but they do need to spend money to make the castle better. And now that Riften is not out on campaigns, he's going to have to start hosting and doing duties that are required as a knight and a lord. The chapter I just finished is a lord from a southern kingdom shows up with 30 of his knights and does not have identifying paperwork. And Riften's law or edict is that if you do not have identifying paperwork, you are not allowed to enter, even more so armed. So because he's kind of being snobby with the guards, they go and they get Maxie, and she comes out and she talks to him from like the top of the gate, and he ends up attacking the gate because basically it's all a trick. And he says some very disparaging things about Maxie because she's stuttering because she's nervous and she's never had to deal with this kind of situation before. And things start getting a little bit out of hand because they burn down a portion of the gate and start making their way in. And then Riften and the army shows up, and he had taken all of the army that went on the dragon campaign with him to the capital because the celebration was for everyone who defeated the dragon. So everybody who was on that campaign went, which is most of the army. There are like some guards and a couple of knights that were left behind that were guarding Anatole when the campaign was going on, and they were all still there, but Riften shows up right before it gets like super deadly. And then he has his angry face and he grabs Maxie and they take off for the castle, and he's just like, you guys can deal with them. And he ends up, the people were just like, we're sorry. And they don't want to fight anymore now that Riften is back. And Riften's just like, this is war. You attacked my hometown. You attacked my base. You destroyed my gate. You're attacking my wife, the lady of this castle. So they're just like, no, we'll leave. We leave. And he goes, no, you're surrendering. You're going to drop all your weapons and you're going to dismount and we're going to go from there. So he like has them all thrown in the dungeon, and then he grabs Maxie and he's like, you all take care of this mess. We have to go to the castle. So He's very quick to anger. And I know we have a lot of character growth for both Maxie and Riften. And I get that he's angry faced because he's upset that she was in the line of fire. And so he's just kind of writing that angst of, oh no. But I'm really enjoying it. And I'm loving that I get 4 or 5 chapters a day. It isn't always 5 because sometimes the fast passes that you get are genre specific. So I did have a couple of days in a row where I was only able to read 4 chapters because I got a couple of genre specific fast passes that Under the Oak Tree isn't considered that genre, weirdly. But, so that was fun. And I can't wait to read my next few chapters tomorrow. So since we're in the like historical fighting dragon kind of thing, let's go through our calendar real quick. And I forgot to check the job board. Right, I forgot to check the FAQ to see if we could do more jobs. But I'm not going to worry about it. We're just going to move on. And maybe I'll try to look it up later. But we're just going to move on. We got 5 gold, so we're good. Whoa. Look at this. It's a little more like abstract artwork. Nothing's like super fine detailed. Okay. The market is busy and a great place to get a few things you can't find at the festival. Exchange gold for any affordable items you desire. You can also sell goods back for the same prices. Remember, you still need to pay an entry fee to get into the festival. So we'll look at the back of this. Okay. So it says the same thing. Reminder pickpocket. We don't have pickpocket. So we can get lockpick tools, a map and a compass, an ointment, bandages, and a potion of clarity. Potion of clarity is consumed on use, removes trauma inflicted from death. So some of these are 15 gold, which is a lot of gold. So I think you're allowed to do all 3 job boards, because if you are hoping to buy one of these and you didn't roll really well in the beginning, I feel like you should be able to do all 3 jobs on the job board. But hold on one second. I'm going to check that. I'm going to pause you and I will be right back. Okay, so there was an FAQ that I saw on Board Game Geek, which is a board game forum and like collection like website, so you can kind of see what games are published and mark what board games you have in your own personal collection and like wish list. But then they also have a very extensive forum where official FAQs are posted, but also like just fan FAQs are posted. So I looked on there, and you can do one, or you can do any number of boards that you want from the job board. So I was not going to do the selling tickets because we don't have good charisma, but I was going to otherwise think of the helping out the guards. So I'm going to pull out the previous days because all the info is on the back, and we're going to see if we can help the guards. And hopefully we'll succeed, and then we will have enough to get one of the more fancier items. But let us see. I need my D20. So we're going to help with the guards at the entrance. You take on the job for the city guard, helping them screen people entering the city to visit the festival. You are tasked with greeting everyone, searching for weapons, giving out information, and reporting potential threats. So a D20 plus our constitution, which is 0. So straight up what we roll. 13. I feel like that's what we got for the other one. If the roll is 11 or more, good. As difficult as it was to stand around all day doing these mundane things, you managed to stick with it until the end of your shift and earn 5 gold. So there's another 5 gold. So that's good. Okay. Yeah, and I don't think... So I'm just going to read the blurb for what the selling tickets is, and then we'll decide. So, some of the performers at the festival are putting on an exclusive late show at the end of the event. They ask you to drum up excitement and sell tickets. So it's not just tickets to the festival, it's tickets to the special late show at the end of the festival. I don't think I'm going to go for it. I don't want to... Our charisma's a -2. We're not very charismatic, so I don't think I want to try it. I don't want to potentially hurt ourselves in any way. I feel like the first 2 were good. We did well. So we got 10 extra gold from day jobs. So that's good. So that gives us, we are now at 17 gold. 3 of it, I believe, we have to save for the festival. Because it was, I'm just going to flip to the next page and see where the festival is. Yeah, it is the fee of 3 gold. So that would give us 14 gold. So we are still a gold short. So the lockpick tools and the map and compass are both 15 gold. And the lockpick tools are nice, but I really want to get a map and compass. I usually buy maps for that's one of the things that all of my tabletop characters get. I usually get them like a map and compass just to have it, just in case. And I don't know how much traveling we're going to do, and I really want that. So we're going to help sell tickets. I might be cheating going back, but I didn't know. So we're going to try to sell tickets, and we're going to see what happens. So charisma is a -2. Will you give me good luck? Snuggle that. She just meowed at me. We'll see if she actually gave me good luck. Will you give me good luck, please? Can I have good luck? I don't know. I don't think she did. Usually she rubs her face on it, and this time she just sniffed it. Can you please give me good luck? Thank you. I made some cheddar popcorn earlier, and she now has that cheddar seasoning all over her whiskers because she was just licking my bowl clean. Because you are a little carnivore. Her name is Cheese, and she loves cheese. Let's see. 18! You are so good luck. Oh, you give Mama so much good luck. Thank you. Okay, so that should be, even with our -2, that's a 16. So let's see. The result is 11 or more, so it's the same. You go through the city and tack up the exclusive performance of the best minstrels, bards, and jugglers in the world. You sell many tickets and earn 5 gold doing so. So another 5 gold. So that makes us 22. And then we are going to... We're going to buy the map and compass. We're going to buy the map and compass, and that'll leave us with 7 gold. And 3 of that will go to the festival. So cool. That will give us a bonus +2 to wisdom rolls when traveling. And it does not stack. So having 2 map and compass sets will not grant a +4. You only get it once. Ah! I swear. Hey! Hey! You don't need to go yell over there. Why are you being naughty? Come here. Look at you. Look at you. Look, right there. Look. Pay attention. Look over here. Look over here. Look over here. You want to tell the people sorry for knocking stuff over? Oh my gosh, I got whiskers in the eyeball. She's grunting. Can you grunt at me? I don't know if you can hear that. But that is like her new thing that she started a couple months ago, was grunting at me. So yeah, so there's our calendar. I will fix our gold in a minute because she's now sitting on my character sheet. Now, I swear, some days. I say that, but I feel like every day, when I edit, I feel like every day she does something that I'm just like, cat. Okay, so a couple other things, and then we will wrap this up. So, I did get a little bit of mail today that I'm super excited for. It is not bookish related, but it is nerdy related. There is a Marvel podcast called The Avengers. I believe I've talked about it before, but they now have merch. So I immediately had to buy a mug. So I got my mug today. The Avengers podcast. And I got the red inside to match the logo. They're one of my favorite podcasts. It's 3 friends and they talk about Marvel. They have a Patreon that I'm also signed up for, and that's really fun because then they do other exclusive content where they do like news wrap-ups and you get to vote on an exclusive movie review, and that's not Marvel centric, although they do Marvel ones. The most recent one I think they did last month was the first X-Men movie. I haven't listened to that one yet, but yeah, so I just fun mail today. I gotta wash it, and then I will definitely be using it, and I'm so excited. They also had like t-shirts and hoodies, and then I saw recently that they added stickers because when they announced it on a special live show, everybody was like, I want stickers and I want magnets, and now I saw that they're stickers, so I'm gonna definitely need to buy a sticker set so I can make magnets out of it, because that's what I do. So that's our fun thing. So the last thing is I've started last night Broken Chains by Demelza Carlton. I am 34% in, and I'm still not sure what to think. Things are still kind of getting set up. It is dual POV. So what we have is our heroine is Katina. I'm going to say it's Catena. And she is getting ready to submit her PhD proposal. And she is going to school to be an archaeologist. Her godmother was an archaeologist and inspired her, and she is currently living in her godmother's house since she has Alzheimer's and is now in a care facility. And she's really struggling on what PhD project to choose, because this will be her next 3 or 4 years, and this is basically kind of solidifying what she will become an expert in this field. This is also Demelza is an Australian author, and it's set in Australia. So there are a few times when Australian lingo is used, and I'm like, I don't know what that means, but we're just going to keep going because it can still get the basic gist. But sometimes I'm just like, I have no idea what some of this is. And some of them I've heard before, or I've read in other Australian published books, or at least Australian authored books, but it's a little more prevalent here. And a lot of the new fantasy authors I found recently are from Australia. So apparently they've got like a booming fantasy romance thing going on over there. But so she is walking home in the dark. I think she went to the store. And she also works at like her school's library as her job. And she trips over like a busker's guitar case. And then he accuses her of stealing money and breaking his guitar case. And then he basically starts trying to attack her and chase her down. And she just tripped over it. And it's like completely dark, so she didn't see him. But so she calls out for help. And Tor, who is our hero that's on the cover, shows up, rescues her, and basically like phases her through the wall of her house. Though I guess it's like a house above a shop kind of a thing. So it's really intriguing because he says he's not a gargoyle, but he is made of stone. And if he's in the sunlight, he turns into a gargoyle. So he has like zero memory of who he was, how he was created, his life before he was put to sleep to wait to be called. And that he would be called when it was time to protect. I think he was assigned to protect her, is what it was called. So he thinks that this is the person that he's supposed to protect for his life. And she, of course, thinks she's dreaming and doesn't quite understand what's going on. But she's also like weirdly okay with him But so somebody filmed this happen from a cafe like across the street. So now everybody's saying that she's dating the Mothman. And she's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. And at this point, she still thinks that she was having really weird dreams about the gargoyle, because there is an actual gargoyle on the roof of this place. And when she was talking to this gargoyle, Tor was actually inhabiting the gargoyle. So, I don't know. It's like, I'm waiting for like the bulk to get into the meat of what's going to happen. So they've met. He's basically convinced her that he's there to protect her. And he can like meld into, because he's made of stone, he can like meld into stone. So he's basically kind of living in her walls during the daytime so he can avoid the sunlight. And then he can come in and out of the walls. And then I guess she passed out that first night because when he phased her through the wall with him, she couldn't breathe for a little bit of time. And that's why she passed out. So I don't know. I'm intrigued. He just had like a flashback memory that he was maybe a prisoner and he was helping build a prison and he was a convict. So maybe that's how he became this stone guardian kind of a person. I'm not sure. And she got like a list from her advisor of different projects that are likely to get approved or are approved. And a nearby prison is one of these. And I feel, and she doesn't necessarily want to work in the nearby prison, but that's like one of the few options that won't require her to either travel long distance or actually move and find temporary housing while she's at this other dig site. And this is book 1 in the Heart of Stone series. I saw this series in a FaRoFeb newsletter, I want to say in December, as like it was on sale kind of a thing. And when I pulled it up, because I was like, oh, that's intriguing, I saw it wasn't going to be out till the end of January, but it was on sale because you can pre-order it for a cheap price. I think it was like 99 cents or something. So I did pre-order it for 99 cents. So I was like, hey, a new fantasy author. It comes out at the end of January. I can read it in February for FaRoFeb. So I'm definitely intrigued. I think I'm going to use this. I think new release is an option for this bingo board. But if not, I know it will work for low fantasy so far. So we'll see what happens. Tor has been asleep for a very long time. He was very amazed that Katina was wearing trousers. And he calls her Lady Scholar. So he's definitely from a historical time period before women were wearing pants, kind of a thing. I don't know how far back. Like I said, he has like no really any memories, but he did get this like one flashback of him in a prison. So we'll see. I feel like we're going to go to the prison, and that will be where she ends up. And I'm not quite sure what he's going to be needing to protect her from, like who the big bad is going to be. We haven't really seen any hints or anything of where our conflict is going to be coming from, but I'm done for most of my stuff tonight, and I'm going to get my PJs on, and I'm going to read for a little bit and see how far I can get into Broken Chains. And if anything crazy happens, I will be sure to come and update you. Yeah, but I'm excited to like get into the meat of the story. So hopefully we start really getting into it here soon. But we shall see. I will talk to you all soon. Bye. Happy Thursday. As you can tell, I'm wearing my jersey. Hockey is finally back tonight, and I'm excited. The game is on at 7. But in about half an hour at 6 o'clock is Rake Appreciation Society, and that's hosted by Crystal and Jen. I know I've mentioned them before. And we are talking about Annie's Song by Catherine Coulter. So I'm excited to see what everybody else thought. As for updates, I haven't read my chapters for Under the Oak today, or Under the Oak Tree yet. I'll do those later. And I read 2 pages in Broken Chains last night. I took a shower, went to bed, and just wasn't feeling it. And I was tired enough that I was like, I'm just going to go to sleep. So, no big updates there. Nothing has still really happened. But after Rake Appreciation, I'm hoping to get some good reading today. My plan is to get at least 60, 70-ish% done, so then I can try to finish it tomorrow night. But we'll see what happens. If it starts picking up, I might go through it a little bit quicker. But let us do our calendar real quick, since I'm running out of time before book club. So yesterday we visited the market. Let's see what we are doing today. Okay, cool. So it looks like we are at the festival entrance. Hoo-hoo. And the holiday for today says New and Leland's legally binding day of love. Down here at the bottom. I don't know who those people are. I'm guessing there's something to do with this world, but huh. Alright, I wish there was like a appendix or something. So these world events you can like read a little blurb about or something, but that's okay. Alrighty, so the festival's opening ceremonies begin, and everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. You make your way to sign up for the Tournament of Lords. You were told that the tournament was open to every commoner, but you still must register and pay the entry fee. So A, pay the entry fee of 3 gold. B, negotiate the fee down. Roll d20 plus charisma, reminder persuasive. Or C, threaten the official to overlook the fee. Roll d20 plus strength, reminder intimidating. I already had it planned, so we're just going to pay 3 gold and enter the festival. So let me just make sure that's all it is. Yep. Remove 3 gold from your inventory. Okay, so that's it. We're done. We're good. Easy peasy. And tomorrow, I think we're going to start actually doing things in the festival. So that's exciting. Well, that was probably one of the fastest updates I've ever done. We just hit 3 minutes. Oh my gosh. It'll still probably end up being like a 2-hour vlog, but I just can't get away from blabbing. And see, I'm doing it now. I'm like, it's 3 minutes. It's too short. So my brain is like, we're going to talk about it. But I'm going to get to reading. I want to try to read my Under the Oak Tree chapters on my phone before Rake Appreciation Society, and then I'll read off of my Kindle during the game. But yeah, so I will check in later tonight and update if I've made some good progress into Book and Chains. If not, I will see you tomorrow. But whatever it is, I will see you soon. And Cheese is announcing to you all that she just went potty. Hello. It is still Thursday. It's about 9:30 at night. We're about halfway through the 3rd period of the Avalanche game. Tonight they're playing the Tampa Bay Lightning, who won the Stanley Cup the last couple of years. So there's a really good chance that we'll see them in the Stanley Cup finals if we both make it that far. But I needed to do an update. And now that I see this, I don't know if you've seen this, but here, or if you even care, let me see. That poster I got from Kal-El monthly fandom box, and it's Lord of the Rings, and it's like the Hobbit entrance to one of their Hobbit houses, and it says, "It is useless to meet revenge with revenge. It will heal nothing." And when I got it, I had to put it up. Yeah, so the game's been high flying. The best part was Joe Sakic came down and was in the play-by-play booth for like the first half of the 2nd period. If you don't know hockey very well, Joe Sakic, I believe he's in the Hockey Hall of Fame, but he holds a whole bunch of NHL records and Avalanche records. He was originally with the Quebec Nordiques, and then when they came to Colorado and became the Colorado Avalanche, he was there. He was the captain for the longest time. He was here for all of the cup wins, before. His name is retired, or his numbers are actually retired for Avalanche, and he's the current GM. So it was really cool to kind of get him there. And it wasn't just like a quick interview thing. He was there for like almost the full 10 minutes of the period. So not only did we get some kind of insight on what it is, because even though it's not numbers wise, it's not halfway through the season, they consider this is the first game after the All-Star break. So it's considered the start of the second season. And we've got trade deadline 5 weeks away. And this is like when you really start fine-tuning things for the playoffs. So that was really cool to get his insights and just what he thinks of how the boys are doing and stuff. Plus, I always love seeing Mr. Joe. I always call him Mr. Joe because he is Mr. Joe. But yeah, so there's that. And I decided to finish Broken Chains by Demelza Carlton. I got like 56% in. Nothing really else was happening. Tor, our gargoyle, had wings. Didn't know that he could fly. And I get he lost his memories, but you would think he would know like the basic functioning of his own body. So then he was like teaching himself how to fly, and then he took Kalida? I can't remember her name. I remember it's really weird though. But he took her flying, and then he pointed out some areas that he remembered building. So he was a mason when this town that they're in Australia kind of came about. And then what ended up happening is he got in trouble because they were building something, and he told them basically they were building it wrong and it wasn't going to last. And somehow this angered people in power, and he became like a prisoner himself and was forced to help. So when they were building, a lot of convicts were sent to Australia. And when they were first there, and it was the colonies, they were forced to kind of build things and do hard labor. And one of the places they were forced to build was their own prison. So he was being forced to build the prison. And then what he calls the butcher basically approached him and convinced him that he could get him out, but he became a gargoyle kind of a thing. So I got to 56%, and like we got a little bit of movement in the story, but I was just not, I don't know, I was bored. And I probably should have DNF'd it officially, but I just skimmed through it until it looked like big things were happening. So I'm going to give it 3 stars because it was intriguing and it was interesting enough that I kept trying to read it, but I needed something else. And part of me was like, okay, pause, pick up something else, and then come back to it. But no, I need to read something else. So I skimmed through it, so I'm still going to count it as a full read because I skimmed through the last like 40%. And it was like less than 200 pages. It took me 3 days to read less than 200 pages. So maybe I should give it lower than 3 stars, but whatever. But then I was updating my readathon books. Or I guess it's one book, but I have my different readathons. And I never really think I said this. So Annie's Song, which I read this weekend, I used for Billionaire CEO or Businessman Hero for Winter's Kiss Board 2. And then I used Broken Chains for New Release. So I've read 12 of my 25 for that. So I'm hoping I can get it finished by the end of the month. And then I ended up using both the 4 prompts for the Heaving Bosoms Reading Embrace. I used Broken Chains for Bonkers Romance. And then I used Annie's Song for Jazz Bagpipes because she gets like a lot of instruments and she likes playing instruments. So I was like, oh, it's loose enough. I can make it work. And then for FaRoFeb, I'm using Broken Chains for New Release. So it counted for New Release for 2 of the 3 prompts that I'm doing. So I needed something a little bit better and something I could count on. So I'm going to pick up this Enthralling the Orc by Tracy Lauren. This is book 2 in her, I think it's Perished Woods series. Let me pull up my Goodreads here, but the first book is Taming the Troll, and I really liked it. I gave it 5 stars. I read it like for the Halloween Bang in the Night monster romance prop, I think is what I used it for last year. And I gave it 5 stars. I really liked it. It's kind of like a historical fantasy set, so I'm not sure which one I'm going to use for it, but it's by Tracy Lauren, as you can see. And yeah, it is the Perished Woods number 2. So in the first book, our heroine, let me just pull it up here real quick since I have Goodreads open. And it is Tamed by the Troll. Okay, so let's see here. So our heroine in the first book is Adelaide, and she is living in kind of like a town that's outside like the main city, and it's kind of historical feeling because there's like a castle and guards and all this stuff, and orcs come from the woods and attack her town. And because she was already kind of wandering in the woods because she's really dealing heavily with the death of her parents, and her aunt is kind of taking advantage of coming to help, but basically she's just trying to steal the house that the parents left for her and all their, basically her inheritance kind of a thing. Not that it's that much, but it's enough that in this village her aunt would have more than what she had before. And then she's basically treating Adelaide as like her servant, and maybe even worse. But so she kind of gets in an argument with her aunt, wanders into the woods, and orcs attack. And then they start kind of scenting and tracking her down because they've killed everybody else in this town. And she runs across a bridge, and a troll basically takes her captive and saves her from the orcs. And then it's a romance between her and the troll. And I really, really liked it. I really liked it. Adelaide bothered me a little bit in the beginning, but once she kind of like calmed down, I really enjoyed it. It was really good. So Enthralling the Orc, this is the second book, and I believe he is a half orc, so he's not full orc. But this is Adelaide's aunt, if I remember correctly. I read the blurb when I finished it before. So it's been a few months. Yeah, her niece. So I guess that her name is Ellen. So she's going to be looking for her niece, and she comes across this half orc for help on trying to track her down after she hears that her village was basically all killed by orcs. And then I'm guessing she finds out that her body wasn't found or something like that. So she thinks she might still be alive. So it's going to be kind of like a fantasy road trip romance. So I really enjoyed the first one, so I have high hopes for this one, and I'm hoping it like fits my mood a lot better, because I don't want this to trigger a slump, especially during FaRoFeb, because I love fantasy romance. But if this doesn't seem to hit it, I'll probably pick up Kristen Ashley, but we'll see. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quick update. Hopefully the Avs win. It's still 3-2 and there's 3 minutes left. And I really don't want to go to overtime. But yeah, so I finished Broken Chains, and I'm going to start Enthralling the Orc here tonight. And I will update once I have more to say. Until then, I will see you later. Hello, happy Friday. It is Friday, February 11th. About 7 o'clock at night, and it has been a busy Friday. We've had kind of snow off and on all day, so I wore my fun sparkly snowman earrings today. I love them. I got them, I want to say, at Kohl's. That's where I got a lot of my winter and Christmas earrings that I have. But I love them because they're very sparkly and they catch the light really well. Even in this bad lighting, you can tell they're super sparkly. But yeah, so I had some grocery shopping to do, and I got some extra stuff. I just got done. I was listening to the Smart Women Read Romance podcast, the most recent episode, while I was putting away my groceries and stuff. And then I finished listening to that while I ate my dinner. And then I got like little Valentines for people at work, so I was putting those together. I got one of the, I don't know how I signed up for them, but one of the like game people I follow and get emails for, they did Valentine's, so I got them. So like this one is a vampire and it says my love for you is undying. And then I'll just show you a couple of my favorite ones, but this one is let me whisper in your ear, and it's like a creepy cat. Here we go. Creepy unicorn, you're my main squeeze. Yeah, oh, and here's a fun one, like a worm. You've wormed your way into my heart. And it's like a weird wormy monster, but yeah, so they have a few of them. And so I just got simple little Valentines that I can give for people at work because Valentine's Day is on Monday. So I did those. And then also I got a new journal. I showed, I don't know what week it was, but I recently got a new tarot study workbook that was like daily coffee and cards or something like that. And I'm going to use that one instead of doing that for like daily pulls as more deep dive interpretations and study on a card. But I wanted a new journal to keep track of my pulls in and different layouts and stuff. I have a digital one that I've been doing it on, and then I'll take a picture and then just attach it, but I don't know. I kind of got out of the habit of updating it, and I feel like if I have something physical, I'll update it more frequently. Like, here's my readathon book, and I'm a lot better at updating this than before I started this. And so I looked at Walmart just to see what they had, and this is super gold, and I'm usually a silver person, not a gold person, and this was a lot bigger than I was thinking, but it has a really pretty, it's all gold foil, and it's stars and the moon, and then it's like gold plated, and then everything is like here's the inside pages. I love these. I wish these were like faint throughout the rest of it, but there's also like gold glitter and shimmer in all the lines. But what's fun about, I decided to get a bigger one because I really like this, and it's that really like soft texture, kind of like some of the indie published books that have, I think they call it the matte finish and not the glossy finish, but it feels kind of like those, and I really liked it. And then I'll probably do a little unboxing when I get them, but I found somebody that does tarot card, or I guess they're stickers, and they're to do like a tarot card layout, but they're blank. So it's just like a square outline, and then you can stick them in wherever you want and then handwrite whatever tarot cards you pull. So you can do your spread in blank stickers and then fill it in as you do the spread. So I got that off of Etsy, and I'm super excited. It's already shipped. And then I found Ritual. So WRITUAL. They do like journals and witchy and tarot stuff. But I saw they had a stamp set that was the major arcana, and then they had the 4 suits. So I'd have to like handwrite whatever number or face card I get for those. But so I ordered those, and what's fun is they're in Colorado. I think it said it was shipping from Longmont, so I should get that super quickly. But that's fun because I didn't realize, but I was supporting a Colorado business, so that's even better. So I'm super excited to start using this and do some pulls. I think I mentioned this before, but I'm not really a daily card puller. I prefer to do more larger spreads, either for moon cycles or astrology cycles or holidays or New Year's and things like that. And so I thought maybe going with this larger size, I could have more room for a larger spread and still have a lot of space to ruminate on what I pulled. But so I'm excited for all those to come, and then I can start doing my spreads and just things like that in here. So not kind of fish book related, but yeah, I just wanted to share because I'm super excited. I'm I'm just not good about updating. Like, I'll take the pictures and I'll kind of jot notes, but I want to be better about actually writing down and seeing how I interpret it, and then being able to go back, and then maybe with all the fun stickers and things. I haven't decided what kind of pens that I'm going to use, but I'll probably just use my normal colored pens. But, so yeah. So that was fun. The rest of what I got at the store was just groceries and like cat litter. But yeah. So let's do the calendar, and then I have book updates. So yesterday we paid the entry fee. We are at the festival, so let us see what happens today. Okay. Cool. So we are in the festival. Everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. You should too. Enjoy some of the events and booths on the festival grounds. Check out the different activities you can do. All are optional. If you choose to play, roll, and resolve as instructed. Okay, so we will set this aside and we will see what's on the back. So there's okay, you may play each game only once. So there's a hide and seek game, a prize raffle, lock picking challenge, a bull riding contest, pig races, and chicken chase. Oh my gosh, this is fun. I kind of want to do them all. Let's do it. We've got gold. Okay. It looks like all of them are 1 gold to play. So let's do it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. Let's just do it. We're going to go for them all. Who needs money anyway? All right, so we are going to drop this down by 6, and I'm going to do this now before I forget. So we are at 3 gold, which is not very much, but maybe we'll win some here. So let's see. We're just going to go in order how it is on the back of the page and go from there. So hide and seek is the first game. Pay 1 gold. Roll d20 plus dexterity. Reminder, stealthy. And we are stealthy. So we get a +2, and our dexterity is a +3. It kind of faded. Kind of got rubbed out a little bit. Let me flip. Oops, wrong flippage. Yeah, we are a +3. Okay. Oh, really? Nope, that's not flat. That's not flat. We'll do it over here. This is a 19. Heck yeah. So we are at a 19 plus our dexterity, which puts us at a 22 plus stealthy, so 24. So yeah, I think we did really well at the hide and seek game. Yep, we just needed an 11. You find one of the best hiding spots and stay quiet. You are never found and win a prize of 3 gold. Heck yeah. Okay. I'm going to add these back as we do them so I don't forget. So that's cool. We got 2 gold out of it. All right, so +2. You were full of it, you know that? She's just running around screaming again. Okay, prize raffle. Pick a number between 1 and 20. Roll a d20. If the result is the number you chose, gain 10 gold. Ooh. So 4 is my lucky number, so I like to go with 4. But I'm going to go with 14. So let's see. I'm going to roll it on my Kindle here so we can kind of see. 7. It's a 7. That's unfortunate, but that's okay. Alexa, dismiss. Okay, we're still positive. We're still +1. Okay, lock picking challenge. Pay 1 gold. Roll d20 plus dexterity. Reminder, locksmith. We are not a locksmith, but we did get lock picking tools, I feel like. And I don't know if those are a per use item. Let us see. Nope, we got the mapping compass. That's right. We bought the mapping compass, not the lockpicking stuff, but that's okay. So our dexterity is a +3. I'm going to roll it over here so it rolls a little better. Natural 20! Heck yeah! I'm going to just roll over there. Those are some better rolls. Nice. We just needed a 15, get the lock open, and collect the prize of 3 gold. Another 3. Heck yeah. Alrighty. We are... Okay. Halfway through. Bull riding contest. Roll d20 plus dexterity again. Animal tamer. And we do have animal tamer. So we are at a +5. Yeah, we're good at taming animals. Do you really need to step on the tripod? That's only a 12, but we have a +5, so that's a 17. 15 or more, sweet. You managed to stay on the bull longer than anyone else. Gain 3 gold. Okay, perfect. So, there's that. All right, pig races. Pay 1 gold. If you're gonna come. Hello, I'm back. We've changed spots. I have lighting now. And I have a kitty in my lap now. You want to stay up here? Okay. Alright, if you want to sit up here, you can. Don't just pull on my sweater. You're gonna ruin my sweater. Oh my gosh. Okay, and I'm gonna move the microphone because she's laying on top of it. Okay. I guess this is what we're doing. Hi. Okay, lay down. All right, come on. Lay down. All right, she's fighting me. And I don't know what to do. I'm just going to hold my microphone because she's just like right here. Can you see? Oh my goodness. I wonder how that sounds. She rubbed her face on it. So, I don't know why she's laying on my neck. Why this is the spot she chose. But I was recording and just blabbering on and looked up and saw that I had reached the rest of my storage. So, I had to clear things off. I am back. I need to be better about checking how much room I have before I record. But I also was rambling on for a long time. So that doesn't surprise me. So we will pick back up. And I will just tell you what the rest of these were. Let me just... Okay. So the pig races was pick a number between 1 and 6. I chose pig 4 and re-rolled a 5. So we lost that one. And then we did the chicken chase was the last game. Roll d20 plus dexterity, reminder animal tamer, and I rolled another natural 20. And I made a joke about turning my side headboard or my side bedtime table into like a dice only rolling shrine kind of a thing. But so we quickly caught the chicken before anybody else and collected a prize of 3 gold. So we ended up getting, I think it was 2 more gold than we went into all these games playing. So not too bad. We actually made some gold playing all the games. So I filmed a little bit of B-roll clip today at work, but I didn't put it before this clip because I'm going to enter it here. So, we sell commercial lawnmowers at work, mostly the Walker brand, but we also do like Skags and Right Standers and things like that. These are commercial riding 0-turn mowers. And we give discounts off of MSRP. So we give if you're going to do like pay with a credit card or do like financing through somebody, we give a lower discount than if you were to pay cash price. Cash price is usually a check, basically, or cash, I guess, technically. But usually people just write a check or do a money order or something like that where we aren't charged any processing fees for it. As you can see from the invoice, somebody brought in $18,000 in cash today at work. So my boss brings it back to me in the back office and she's like, I need you to count this. So I had to film my desk. And she kept joking. She's like, I come back here and I've got like hundreds and fifties all over the place. And she goes, you look like you're working for a drug lord or something. And I was like, I know. I feel like I'm like a bookie or something. Because there was just money everywhere. And I was just like, oh. I was like, do you want to make it rain? This is like the only chance we're going to have $18,000 in cash. Let's make it rain. And she just kind of chuckled. And we didn't. We just put it all back in envelopes. And it was correct, thankfully. But I could not believe that somebody brought in $18,000 in cash. I'm not a big fan of having cash. But we were both just like, we do not want this here in the office. So it's already been take it to the bank kind of a thing. So no worries there. Please don't try to rob us. We do not have that money in the office anymore. But when am I ever going to see $18,000 in cash ever in my life again? I don't know, I was telling her because, like, I opened up one envelope and it was all the new 100s that are, like, the bluish color with the little stripies on them. And then the next one was all, like, the old style 100s. And I'm like, I feel like some of this was, like, under his mattress. And then we were joking about them possibly laundering money through us. And I don't know, it was just a weird situation. And, you know, we always say when we tell people, when we give them quotes on equipment, we're like, the cash price does not mean a stack of cash. We don't want a stack of cash here. But yeah, so that was fun today at work. She's just coming through. So yeah, so let's talk about book. Last night I started Enthralling the Orc, Tracy Lauren, book 2 in her Perished Woods series. I am loving this so much more than the first book. And I loved the first book. So good. I'm loving the banter between our hero and heroine. It's giving me all the fantasy vibes I want. Oh, this was the perfect book to pick up after the last book I read. So last night I got, let me check, 40 something. 42% in. And I only put it down because it was way past my bedtime and I literally could not keep my eyes open. I would like read half a page and I'd be like, oh, my eyes hurt. So I had to put it down. I pushed through to finish a chapter, but then I put it down. And I love this. I love this book. I'm loving it so much more than the first book, like I just said. But I really enjoyed the first book. So I'm going to try not to ramble on as much as I did in my first clip that just wasn't actually filming because it was like max size. It cut me off, but I was like, could still see myself in the view screen kind of a thing. But anyway, so our hero is Ash and we meet him first and he is half orc, half human. We actually see a glimpse of him in the first book. So there is a situation that's kind of dealt with in the first book. And here we learn in this book, and then in this one, Enthralling the Orc, we learn more about it. So what it is there is a term called enthralling. And in the first book, we only see it in one instance. And it is, we're going to go clinical here. A woman is enthralled to goblins. And in this world, goblin sperm is highly, I don't know, it's like an aphrodisiac drug kind of a thing. And basically you get addicted to it so bad that if you do not get doses at regular intervals, you basically lose your mind and die. So these goblins don't really want human enthralls, but they will take a human enthrall in to try to keep them alive until they can see if there is a way to break them out of the thrall. So that was kind of weird. I mean, and it doesn't, like, they don't have to have sex. Like, this woman was, like, just laying on a table, and the goblins were, like, diddling themselves, and then just finishing on her skin, and that was, like, keeping her kind of calm. But then after a little bit of time, the person that we see in this inn in the first book, she's, like, nearing the end of her life, so she needs it almost constantly. But so when we're there, we kind of get a glimpse of this hero, Ash, and another woman shows up to try to become a thrall to the goblins that run this inn, and he basically chases her off, and that's all we really saw of him, just a quick glimpse. So here at the beginning of this book, it starts with him trying to rescue this lady. He spent 4 days trying to take her out of the perished woods and take her back to the capital here. And he's hoping, because there's been guards and stuff around this area of the woods where it kind of comes up to the city, he's hoping that he can kind of get her there and pass her off on the guards, and they will be able to help her. Now, he is doing this, and he's done this before, because his mother became enthralled as well. But this is where we learn it's not just goblins that can enthrall. Any magical creatures, anything in the woods can enthrall a person. For his mother, it was just simply magic. His mother was human, went into the perished woods and started to learn magic and became enthralled by magic. Basically wouldn't leave. All that she really cared about was magic. And then she would have dalliances with his father, who was an orc from time to time. And that's how he and his brother were born. So anytime he sees a human woman in the perished woods, he tries to get her out of the woods, because he doesn't want any more humans becoming enthralled and living a not good life. So when he's trying to save this woman, first of all, she's fighting him tooth and nail. She does not want to leave the woods. She is already addicted. She cannot, she just is dead set on being in the woods and getting back to a goblin. And the guards come across them, think he's capturing her, because he tied her up, because she was, like, kicking and biting him and trying to get him to drop her so she can run back into the woods, kind of a thing. So he ties her up for more his safety than hers. And he's trying to tote her back. So the guards obviously misunderstand it, because all they see is the orc half of his genetics, and end up capturing him. And the woman ends up escaping back into the woods anyway. So, like, him trying to save this woman and nothing happens for it, except for she almost kills a guard. And she covers Ash in bite marks, and he kind of gets beat up a little bit, but he's no worse for wear. So he ends up getting captured, as well as, like, hundreds of other beings and creatures from the perished woods. And he learns that they are being delivered to the mage of this city. So the mage works under the king. And basically they're going to be tortured and experimented on by this mage. Then we kind of shift to Ellen. So like I said, Ellen is the aunt of the heroine in the first book. However, Ellen was like maybe not a miracle child, but a late child. Not expected late child. She is only 5 or 6 years older than her niece. And there was a larger age gap between her and her older brother and sister. She ran away when she was 16 to move to the capital. Basically, like, she had a really good relationship with her brother. But her sister, Cecilia, who was the aunt that was absolutely horrible to the heroine in the first book, ends up kind of guilt-tripping her for living with her brother. And she's a 16-year-old girl, which this has kind of a historical vibe, so I don't know, she's kind of in that she could be out on her own or maybe getting married, but it's still also kind of young that she should be staying with family. But the Cecilia person was horrible anyway in the first book. And so it was, I mean, we kind of already expected her to still be a horrible person. And she wasn't just horrible to a heroine in the first book. She just was a horrible person, period. So she ends up running away to the capital. She comes across a lady, Mathilde, who ran an inn with her husband. And her husband has just passed away. But she is more of the cook kind of person at this inn. And she doesn't really have the mind for business. So Ellen ends up kind of working with her because she does have a mind for business, and shows that she's the manager of this inn, and Mathilde is the owner and cook. So she's been living there for almost 10 years, I want to say. And she talks about how she took off and she was hoping for an adventure, but she ended up finding stability, which she wasn't expecting. But she also knows that now that Mathilde's daughters are getting older, and she's kind of taught them all that she knew, it'll be almost time for her to move on. So she's kind of looking forward to getting that adventure she always wanted. So they are dealing with a bunch of refugees. So in the first book, orcs attack the city where they are, and that's how the niece, I can't remember her name, Adelaide? I looked it up in my previous clip. So her name starts with an A. I'm just going to call her the niece. She runs into the forest and runs into the troll, and that's all the first book. So these orc raids are happening. And we kind of get a little bit of a hint that they might actually be in cahoots with a queen of another area. I don't know if like it's a country or how it's really set up. They don't really get into that part of the political stuff. But it's basically rumored, at least in the perished wood, that this orc army that's kind of terrorizing everybody is in cahoots with this other queen, because the king of this city that they start in hasn't been seen in years, is rumored to be kind of going mad, and the only people that really issue any orders to the guards or people that need to be ordered by the king is the mage and then one of his other like attendants kind of person. So they think that's why the orcs are getting closer and closer to this capital city. So at the inn, they are taking in refugees and treating them. And Ellen comes across a woman from the same town as her niece. And she basically kind of asks after both her and her sister. And the woman says, yes, I saw Cecilia. She was dead. But I did not see your niece. And so she's just kind of heartbroken because, but this woman is very adamant that she didn't see her. And if she was dead, she would have seen her. But that she saw her kind of go into the outskirts of the forest earlier that morning. And then she kind of makes a comment that if anybody were to survive the orc raid, it would have been her niece. And Ellen kind of fights against that because she doesn't see her as a strong person in that way, and like a survivor, but she doesn't really know her that well because she hasn't really seen her in 10 years outside of when she was there to visit briefly when the heroine was grieving for her parents. So she decides, so first of all, she gets really upset, and so she wants to kind of take it out on some of these people in the perished wood. So she had seen earlier in the morning the caravan bringing all these creatures and stuff to the mage. And so she finds some of the cages outside one of the castle gates. And so she starts throwing rocks at them. And they're all covered in like thick tarps kind of a thing. So the rocks aren't really doing damage. And then this is where Ash entices her to come forward. He's wearing a hood. She can't see that he's half orc. And they come to a compromise, and she gives him like a bobby pin kind of a thing, a hairpin, and he gets himself out. And they make a deal because he is a tracker that he will help her find her niece. Now, we know from his point of view that he's planning on leaving her here in the city and going back into the woods himself. He will stick to the bargain, though, and find what he can of his niece. If she's alive, bring her back. If she's passed away, either lay her to rest or bring her body back to Ellen to lay her to rest, kind of a thing. So he will keep up his side of the bargain. But because he doesn't like human women going into the perished wood because they might become enthralled, he plans on kind of ditching her before they leave. Well, all these different things keep happening at different points where he's deciding he's going to ditch her. And he ends up getting stuck with her. And before they enter the perished woods, she sees under his hood and she realizes he's an orc. He gets into a battle with one of the other guards that are patrolling. And she runs into the woods. A silly girl runs into the woods screaming. And he's just like, oh my gosh, I can smell her fear from here. And she's triggering all my hunting urges. And so now he's just like, crap, I can't take her out of the woods now. I just have to get to her and try to keep her safe in the woods until we can get somewhere else where I can safely leave her and then continue on to find her niece. So they are still traveling and looking for her niece. And I'm loving the banter between them. It is so good. And it was really great and companionable beforehand. And then once she finds out he's an orc or part orc, and he constantly makes it a point to be like, I am only half orc. And he keeps saying things like, she calls me a monster. She calls me an it. She won't call me a man. And so he's not seen as a living being. He's just seen as this creature kind of a thing. And he kind of brings it up at one point where he's like, I'm not the one that's being prejudiced here. And he doesn't use the word prejudice, but he kind of points it out that she is not as good or as fair as she's kind of saying that she is. Because he's just like, I've never been mean to you. Yeah, I planned to leave you, but I was still going to find your niece. And it was because I didn't want you to face the dangers of coming into the perished wood, whether I was with you or not. So it was from a good place kind of thing. And then she has to reassess. And then she gets sick. She steps in some poisonous plants and gets a really bad fever. And he took care of her. So now they're kind of starting to really connect, because she's been able to both deal and process and move past the fact that he's half orc. And I'm ready. I'm ready for them to start taking those next steps. I'm telling you, I am loving this. This was the perfect book to pick up next. He kind of mentions his brother and that he hasn't seen his brother in a while. And I haven't seen an update at all if there's going to be a third book. And I don't know if there's going to be a teaser at the end of this book for a third book. But depending on what happens the rest of the story, I kind of want I want more from Tracy Lauren. So if his brother isn't in this and we don't find out that his brother died or something, his brother needs to be book 3. Just saying. As you can tell, I'm really liking this. And I'm just like, give me more. But yeah, I'm really liking this. And I can't wait to read more. I'm hoping I can finish it tonight. But it's already kind of late. It's already after 8 o'clock now. So I need to finish things. I need to finish kind of putting away some of my stuff here. And then I'm going to read the rest of the night. I was planning on wrapping up the vlog tonight, but if I don't finish Enthralling the Orc tonight and I end up having to finish it tomorrow, I'll just cut it off tomorrow and I'll just save my calendar for Sunday if need be. But this will be the last book I'm reading for this vlog, so I will update whenever I finish this book, whether it's tonight or tomorrow or whatever time frame I'm at. But I'm really loving it. And as long as nothing weird happens, which I'm not really expecting anything weird to happen because nothing weird really happened in the first book, this is probably going to be a 5 stars. And I'm definitely enjoying it a lot more than the first book. But like I said, I really loved the first book. I gave it 5 stars. But the heroine in the first book got a little too antagonistic toward our hero. But it didn't bother me the way that her character arc went. But I liked that here they were companionable, and then they had that little bit of conflict, but now they're moving past it, and we're only 40% in, and now they can kind of get to being companionable and more for the rest of the book. So I'm really excited. I'm going to get in my PJs and I'm going to get back to reading, but I just had to update, and this is the kind of fantasy I like. And no shade against Demelza, but this is my kind of fantasy. I love it. It's so good. I love it. And now that I'm in my lighting, look how shiny my snowmen are. They're catching the light. They're so cute. But yeah, like I said earlier, I think I got these at Kohl's. I probably did. They're so pretty in the light. But anyway, I'm going to get in my cozy PJs and get back to reading. And I will be back and update you once I have finished Enthralling the Orc by Tracy Lauren. Until then. Hello. Happy Saturday. Good morning. I'm here to wrap up the week. Wrapping it up a little late, but last night I did finish Enthralling the Orc by Tracy Lauren, book 2 in her Perished Woods series. Holy crap, this book went directions I was not expecting, and I loved it. I'm giving it 5 stars. I need it in paperback, and I can't wait. I can't wait to read more. So things kind of quickly escalated and got a little bit scary. They're still traveling. At some point, they just kind of have different hijinks and run into it. And Ash kind of makes fun of Ellen a little bit. And he's just like, I know there's nothing you're intentionally doing, but you just seem to attract trouble. And so they keep kind of getting into little hijinks and things while they're traveling. At one point, she mentions her niece and she says her name, Adelaide. And he's like, oh, wait, Adelaide, does she have fiery red hair? She's like, yes. And then he's like, oh, I saw her last week hanging out at a troll. And so she's like, oh, we got to rescue him from the troll. And in his brain, he's like, no, I don't think we need to. They had an interesting relationship from what I could tell. But he doesn't say this to her. And he's like, no, I'm pretty sure she's safe. And she's at the troll village. So now they actually have somewhere to go. And she ends up kind of getting captured by someone. And then, there's more hijinks and going on. They get a little bit steamy with each other. And she is like bringing out his orc tendencies. And so he says that like the monster in his blood is kind of activating a little bit. And as you can tell by the title, Enthralling the Orc, which I didn't put it together until I was writing it down in my readathon books, but she does. She enthralls him, and it's almost kind of like a fated mate kind of feel. It was so well done. But they're finally gonna go all the way. They're both like super feeling it. And she's like, I'm gonna run, catch me kind of a thing. And when she's running and he's chasing after her, and they're doing it for like playful reasons, and they're close enough to the edge of the Perished Woods that a scouting party of the orc army gets attracted by her because she's like laughing and screaming while he's chasing her. And they kidnap her and take her to the orc army. I mean, kind of obviously spoilers, but this was absolutely terrifying. We've got human women that are either forced to be slaves by the orcs, or human women that have become enthralls to the orcs. Ash is different because he's half orc and he's half human. But like real orcs are very mindless. They don't really have conscience, a sense of what's good and what's not. And basically the way that she describes it is when you look in their eyes, all you see is like hate and malice. So she's absolutely terrified. But they keep saying it smells like the king. The king is Thorn, Ash's brother. Ash's brother has killed countless numbers of people. Countless. Enslave them, rape them. And I'm really torn. I hated Thorn, but then there were little moments where you're just like, oh. He yells at one point at Ash. So basically, he kind of keeps Ellen. He says he's going to make Ellen his queen because he's the king of the orcs. We do find out that, yes, he is in leagues with the queen from this other kingdom. I believe she's human, but she's a witch. And so he has dark magic. He's wearing like an amulet medallion kind of a thing that it wasn't directly said, but we kind of get the hint that dark magic is helping him be more powerful than normal. And it may or may not have something to do with this medallion. I kind of thought something was going to happen with the medallion, but it doesn't. But he wants his brother because his brother is the only one that he wants on his side, basically. And it was kind of heartbreaking because Ash felt abandoned by his brother because his brother took off towards the Black Mountain, never to be heard of again. So he felt like his brother abandoned him. But with Thorn, his brother, to him, it felt like his brother was rejecting his orc side. But really, how they came out and how, I don't know, they naturally evolved into the people that they were going to be. Thorn is more inclined towards orc tendencies, while Ash is more inclined to human tendencies. So, and Thorn hates humans, and that's part of why he's doing this, is because he's going to treat humans how monsters and orcs have been treated by them. Granted, I understand his point, but it's not like orcs were good people or good creatures and were kind of downtrodden. From everything that it's been written, from what I understand, orcs are just naturally really horrible. But for him, it's slightly different because he is half human, even though he relates more toward his orc side. But anyway, so I was just like, I said I wanted Thorn to have a book, but I don't want, like, I will read dark romance and I will read anti-heroes. But when he has Ellen and Ash captured, he goes on another raid. I would have preferred it if we didn't see him go on a raid while with our main characters. It's different when we know what's happening in the background than actually like having it in the story and we're reading it. And we weren't actually with them because basically he's keeping Ellen to manipulate Ash because he wants Ash to basically become his right-hand man. He wants his brother. At one point, he heartbreakingly screams at them, what will it, like, why won't you love me? Kind of a thing. But he's just so, like, gone. And maybe it's with the dark magic. Who knows how his mind might be twisted by this dark witch queen. But it was really heartbreaking. And it was actually really terrifying because there was a point where Ellen was thrown in a cage and left in the middle of the army encampment. Just no blankets, just out in the open, and people were able to come by, and she stayed curled up in the center of this giant cage so nobody could like reach her. But it was just so heartbreaking to read. And eventually they do escape. And what happens is Ash finally kind of gives in to using magic, and he creates a cursed potion, and he uses magic this one time, but he's like, if I'm going to give in to magic, I'm going to do it for Ellen. He does kind of after the fact be like, okay, I'm not addicted to it. I'm not going to be like my mom and become enthralled to magic. But he's going to kill his brother, which is so heartbreaking for him. But there's at one point where when him and Thorn are talking, and he's like, you aren't my brother anymore. You're nothing, no part of you is like the brother that I knew. You've changed completely. And I don't recognize the person standing in front of me. And that was really heartbreaking to read. But So Ellen and Thorn are kind of arguing. Ellen's trying to manipulate Thorn back so that her and Ash can kind of escape him, or at least both be able to survive, because it's going to be really hard for them to escape this orc army. And so he's poisoning her. She had gotten a knife because one of the guards that she was friends with was in the latest raid, and he snuck a knife to her. So she was planning on killing him, but then Ash shows up and she kind of sees him in the corner of her eye, and he poisons him. And then Thorn drinks some wine or something, tastes the potion. Then he starts accusing Ellen of being a witch. And then Ash comes out and it's like, no, it's me. And then they tussle and he knocks Ash unconscious. And then he starts choking him to death. And Ellen grabs the knife and slits Thorn's throat. And then her and Ash are able to escape. Ash puts on his brother's cloak, so it looks like him, and they pretend to tie up Ellen, and then he gets on his brother's horse and they take off into the perished woods. So they are able to escape. They take a couple days, they get it to the troll village, and then once they're there, we find out that Ash was cut or stabbed with some glass from a wine bottle or the wine glass or whatever. So he's about to die, and then they kind of take him to the diner, the troll diner, I guess. And that's where Adelaide works. So Adelaide and Ellen come together, and then I think they call her the Great Witch, but she mostly does white magic and healing magic. And so she is able to save Ash. And he's asleep for a couple days. And then when he wakes up, he tries really hard to white fang Ellen. And Ellen just is so firm. She's like, no, if you don't deserve me, I don't deserve you. But guess what? We deserve each other. She's like, we're in love, and there's nobody else for me. And we're going to stay here. We're going to create a home. You are my family. And she just doesn't let him. She doesn't let him. She keeps kind of being firm. And I loved it because they didn't actually separate. He says the words and you can tell he's going to try to leave, but she just does not let him in the moment. And I loved it. And then the epilogue is super cute. They have a house built in the troll village, and he's kind of learning that there is good magic. And the Great Witch is kind of trying to turn him into her apprentice because he does have a magic affinity. And Ellen is pregnant and they're having twins, and it ended so well. But, so once again, this is even spoilery. The way that it ends, at the acknowledgements at the very end, I haven't deleted it yet because I wanted to read this. So apparently she has an Alien series. I definitely need to read more from Tracy Lauren. But she says, stay tuned for details on the next installation of the Perished Woods. Spoiler, Thorn isn't dead, and he's coming back more damaged and sexier than ever. If you're into that kind of thing. And then the winky face. And I feel like she can redeem him, but I am nervous. I don't want to see him do any type of rating in his book. And I don't know. So this came out, Enthralling the Orc came out in 2019, I saw is when it was published. What I need to do is I need to check Tracy Lawrence if she has a website or a newsletter or something. And just so I can stay up to date, if she writes alien romance, and I love sci-fi romance as well, so I definitely want to pick up her other books. I'm really enjoying this. This was a great way to end the week. This is a great way to keep me from getting into a book slump and back into what I enjoy about fantasy romance. I loved it. Like I said, 5 stars. I liked it a little bit better than the first book, even though things got a little bit scarier in this one, but it was so good. I really liked it. So I'll just update my things here. So for my Winter's Kiss board 2, I used this to cover the forbidden romance prompt, since he's half orc and she's a human kind of a thing. It's not really forbidden, but I felt like it covered it enough that at least in this world, outside of what them and the people in the perished woods might think, to other humans it is a forbidden romance. Alexa, dismiss. I never can seem to time my filming right with where my timer's at. And then for FaRoFeb Bingo Board 1, I used it for Epic Fantasy, which is a different world. So I only have 4 more prompts to finish the first board of FaRoFeb. So yeah, this is a really good reading. Well, it was an okay reading week. I read some books I loved over the weekend, and I really loved this book. We had a little bit of a downer, but I'm excited to read more. And I'm kind of nervous. I wanted to finish both FaRoFeb boards and finish the second board of Winter's Kiss, but I don't know what's going to happen, because we got the Super Bowl tomorrow and all sorts of stuff. But I'm going to stop rambling at you here. If you're looking for a fantasy author, definitely check out Tracy Lauren. I loved Taming the Troll, and even more enthralling the Ark. I will see you next Wednesday. Hopefully I can get this up on time. And until then, I hope you have a great week. I'll see you then. Bye.